So part 3 of my terrible first relationship. I break up with this guy, right? And this is a if I can't have you, nobody will situation, but he didn't escalate to that much, right? That far. I don't know what he's done now. He might be in jail for murdering someone now. I don't know. Or just being really abusive. But I would be driving down the street and he would see my car, right? He would flip around and come and follow me. I would be at the bar, right? I was in college. I was always at the bar. I was always dancing, drinking, listening to music, just having a good old time. And anyway, I would be at the bar with my own friends, with my own people I'm hanging out with, and he thought I was dating this one guy once, which I wasn't, and it doesn't matter if I was, but I wasn't, and he threw a glass full of alcohol, whatever, at his head and hit the wall behind him and the glass shattered. He flicked lit cigarettes at me and the girl that he was cheating on me with, who he tried to get to fight me in the bar. Like, she was gonna fight me for some reason. I walk up to her and I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? You know, I was like, I don't understand. I don't know you. Did I do something to you? Like, you know, this kind of stuff. And she was like, you don't know who I am? And I'm like, nope. And she's like, well, he told me that you knew who I was, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, he was cheating on me with you then. And I was like, and I don't know who you are. And I don't want to fight you. I don't know you. And then she was like, oh. And then then we started talking. We were like, oh, okay. Did not become friends with that person. But he also flicked lit cigarettes at her as well. A few years later, it was many years later. I'm talking like years, right? Like, I think it was 2 years or something. I had gone back to Graham's because I had left. I was at another school somewhere else, and I don't know if it was Tarleton or was at Tech, and I had gone to Graham's with my mom because back then I was really like best friends with my mom, and we would go do all these things together, and which wasn't like that when I was in high school. Anyway, he sees me at the bar at Graham's because there's a country concert going on, and he throws a fit. Like, he didn't recognize it was me, but I was standing there and I didn't care that he was there. I was like, whatever. And he saw me and just lost his shit. He started screaming. He started like acting like he was gonna fight people. Like, my mom had to go get the bar people, the bouncer people, and like get him kicked out because he was acting like erratically, like fucking sane person. Like, okay, I get that you have a traumatic childhood, but this behavior is just like, whoa, it's not okay, right? It's unsafe. Like, Jesus. And this is though, look, I never contacted him again. Never, nothing. Right? After I break up with somebody, and I wholeheartedly believe this for even now, I do not have contact with them at all anymore afterwards. That is it. I broke up with you for a reason. I'm cutting those soul ties. I'm cutting that karmic connection. I'm unhooking. I am taking that energy and putting it somewhere else. And it takes a while to heal from intimate relationships that you're in, that you've broken up from. It takes a while. So it's not going to be good if you have to keep seeing this person. And then if you do, by the way, if you have a kid or something, be good at co-parenting, but you need to take as much emotional connection from you and that person out of it as possible. I'm not saying be cold and be rigid, but I'm saying be as cordial and as non-connected as you can be that's healthy. Okay, anyway, moving on. So then this guy, and this is how I knew I never healed from this, right? So right after I break up with this guy, I don't heal, I don't go to counseling, I don't go do anything. I just get drunk, real drunk, like brown out drunk, and just say, fuck it. And I like just start dating and not having sex with everybody, because that's never been my thing, is like just going out and having sex. It's fine if people want to do that. It's just not me. And so then I go get in another relationship right away, just hop right into one. And I remember making out with this new guy and crying. He didn't know I was crying, and I don't know how he didn't. What an idiot. Anyway, so I get with someone else who's way older than me. He's like 8 or 10 years older than me, which, why are you like almost 30 years old dating like an 18, 19-year-old? Like, come on, man. No, you shouldn't be doing that. And again, hindsight is a bitch, because now I'm like, oh yeah, ooh, like that's not gonna be healthy. And so, I mean, anyway, so the maturity level, all I'm saying, I'm 35. I'm not gonna date someone who's like that much younger than me, right? Like way, way younger. Nah. I mean, I'm not going to anyway, because I have a partner, but anyway. And so anyway, I'm not even over this other guy. And so then that proceeds to me just relationship hopping, never healing anything, just compounding trauma, compounding nervous system dysregulation. And then I'm on Facebook at the time. I don't have it anymore, but I get a message from this guy, the guy I broke up with, Bob. Okay. This is years after. I'm talking like 10, 15 years now. Maybe about 10, a little less than 10 years after. Okay, a little less than 10 years after breaking up with him. He messages me and wants to be my friend. And of course, I'm like, fuck this guy. And I like block, delete, fuck you. I'm not even, no. And so I see he has a kid, which of course, right? And again, that trauma is going to be passed down from generation to generation into his kids. And my body had a huge response. Just the wound and the trauma from that relationship, that dysregulation, that imbalance from that relationship, unresolved in my body, went boom. And I was, I would say fight, flight. So hyper arousal, okay? Anxious, overwhelmed. It was awful. I was like, oh my God, sweat, just awful, just out of it. Again, right? So again, my nervous system is getting hijacked by my lower part of my brain. And I'm like, survival response light, right? Like I'm gonna die, which I'm not. But anyway, I go to this energy healer that was at the place I worked at, and she was like, oh, you still had a response to that? Like him messaging you? Because I had told her about that, because that had just happened. I was gonna go see her. And which I need to let everybody know right now that if people have trauma that is not, or an event in their life where their nervous system was not able to complete a cycle of survival, right? They are going to still have a response. So your response to them whenever they tell you they're having a very overwhelming reaction or response to something that to you seems really benign, that means that there's something that is underneath that needs to be worked out, whether it be through, probably from someone else, probably not from you if you don't know how to work with that. But your response is not something that should make them feel guilty or shamed. Like, oh, you still have a response to that? Like, no, it's not like my choice. I didn't choose that. It just happened. Like, and so that, again, though, that layers on shame and guilt. So please watch your wording and understand that everybody has some type of different nervous system response to things that may seem different and benign to you, but it's not your job to judge that. It's your job to support that person in some way. If you can't do it personally, then find a resource that they can and give that to them. Anyway, what was good about this energy worker and healer was that they said, oh, do you have anxiety? And I was like, what? No, I don't know. No, nah. She's like, oh no, you do. And are you on medication? I was like, no. She was like, oh. She was like, yeah, okay, so you gotta start like handling this anxiety. I had no fucking idea I had anxiety. And now I know I had anxiety and I'm like, oh my God, that feels terrible. But I had no idea. I was so disconnected from my body, which if we're not taught to be connected to our body, we're gonna be disconnected from it, right? Like, especially if there's a lot of trauma and a lot of dysregulation growing up or in our lineage and things like that, and we're not taught how to be, we're not modeled it, and we're not taught how to handle it, we're going to shut ourselves off from our body, okay? It's not healthy, and it doesn't work well on down the road because you get somatic symptoms like headaches, stomach aches, all these things. But I had no idea until that moment. And then after that moment, it changed my life forever. I was like, oh. And so I have gone on this road of healing for such a long fucking time. I have done so well. I am so proud of myself. And the thing is everything I do with my clients, everything I put out, my course that's out for wellness, it involves attachment, boundaries, learning about your nervous system. Everything I do, like with my book, it involves wellness because that's how you heal. Everyone heals differently, but you can create an environment in which you can heal better, faster. And this relationship to this Bob was awful. And I've never had a relationship like that since then. I've had tidbits of abuse, but nothing like that. And I'm really proud of myself. So do as much self-healing work as you can. Getting a counselor was one of the best things I've ever done. But my healing didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in that time frame I was seeing that counselor, or all of my healing. Healing did happen, but not all of it. It was on me to do it. 50 minutes a week, that's not going to get you where you want to be in a shorter period of time, because it's taken me a long time to heal. And I've been working diligently. Going to counseling, doing my own healing. So that's why I put this stuff out there. There's periods of rest. There's periods of time we need to climb the mountain. There's periods of time we need to stop and enjoy the view, breathe, drink some water, take a nap, set up camp. Maybe that's for a few days, few weeks, few months. And then there's times we need to get back up and start climbing the mountain. And then we get to descend the mountain, and then it's back up again sometimes. Right? There's periods of that. There's seasons to that. So listen to your body, but just know that it's not going to happen if you just wishful think it. Right? Like, if you just don't want to go deep, if you don't want to get into any of this stuff, like, your healing will only go that deep. Yeah. Okay. Bye.